We're rolling. Let's roll. So yes, this is the rolling portion of the course. And the first thing that I'm going to do is just show the patterns on the ground. And y'all can be back here behind me. Also, please do. Like, don't just sit seriously and observe. You at home as well. Even if you're not on the floor doing it, you can be like kind of marking it with your hands a little bit. So actually, could one of you be over there? I want to use this space and be kind of, spread out there. Cool. Maybe can you slide back there? Yeah. Okay, great. Hi. Action. Pew! So we're here. We're going to roll around on the floor. The first thing that you need to know is that it's really fine to put your hand on the floor and your forearm, but if you do it too far away, is like you can't really get further down from here. So if you touch the ground with your hand and it's far away from you and you put your elbow down, you're going to have to move your whole body to get your shoulder to the ground. And it's going to go in the same direction that your hand went. The other option is to put the hand down really close to your body, and you can get the elbow out of the way, but I still need to move my shoulder somewhere. So if I'm going to the floor, I also have the option to just slide. I'm going to start all of you from this position, lying on your back with your feet on the floor and your knees bent. And it's really important that you understand the concept of both clockwise or both anti-clockwise. So my legs are going to go both clockwise, and I end up on my right hip. And if I do nothing else other than allow something to continue, my hip will come to here, and then everything stops because my left leg is feeling some stretch. I can then let the left leg come all the way to here. And the left leg moves without a ton of effort. Literally, you're falling to the side. I also, with my feet, I'm going to add a little bit of that both clockwise. The right side is supinating. The left side is pronating. And it kind of pushes. And I might even, momentarily, I could lift my hip. I could inch it forward. And now I have a huge stretch here. And if I just allow my upper body to continue, eventually the leg will whip itself. And the leg whips at a moment when you engage your abdominal muscles more firmly. If you have your abdominal muscles totally soft and relaxed, and I do both right, it doesn't connect to my upper body or my hips. If I have no tension here, I can just drop them to the side and collapse and nothing happens. However, if I have core tension, my lower back is tight against the ground, it's easy from there to lift my head off the ground, but I don't have to. I can have this core tension and feel my tail lift off the ground. With this tension, as I both clockwise from the ankles, it drives my hips to the side. Notice my hands aren't going anywhere. They might even go the opposite direction if I want. What we're doing is creating tension that builds, and eventually it can release through this leg moving, or it can release through my upper body passing through. When you start from a pencil position, you can lift one leg, bring it across your body as far as you can. What you'll notice is that eventually it's gonna rotate clockwise. I have my left leg coming across my body. It's eventually going to go clockwise, but if I go clockwise first and then I bring it, I'm not feeling a buildup of tension anywhere in my body. If I externally rotate it and I keep it externally rotated while it crosses the center line, I feel a huge buildup of tension through my inner line of the leg and groin. And if I just take my arms over my head now, it's naturally going to bring me through a spiral. And if I allow it to continue, and I just bend my legs in, it captures that inertia into my body, and it can then again move through. So The whole idea is as you're crossing your legs, you cross them with a counter spiral. Whatever's the opposite of what you're eventually going to do. You got to wind up as much as you can. And if your arms are in the way, you can't go anywhere. So the passing through positions are here. Pretty easy to pass through with your arms, both of them overhead, even a little bit crossed. It's also possible to pass through here, where I'm pressing my shoulder into the ground. I'm pressing my forearm into the ground, bearing weight on my hand here. So I can come through this position and then symmetrically reverse it. So now I'm tucking through. If you ever don't know what to do with your hands, either put them over your head or press, and then there's this wrapping. It's an external spiral of the humerus, draws your elbow into adduction and towards your rib cage. Your hand is actually going outside the center line. So as I come through here, that same arm position I was doing before, external one side, internal the other side. Okay, my legs have come through here. Now I need to get my upper body through somehow. External right side, internal left side, and I have this ability to, even from there, to spring up or to simply pass through. Yeah? If you're at home watching this without doing it, pause, rewind a few minutes, and then try to do these movements while you're watching or kind of just listening. Here's a fun exercise you can do with a partner. Virgil, will you come lie down right here on your back, head over there, legs towards me? Cool. And Elena, can you come over here? Cool. So Virgil, go like pencil style with your arms. Can you check that this is all still in frame? So what I'm going to do is, well, first I'm going to make sure that there's enough core tension. So I'm going to check underneath here. So I feel there's a little gap under his back. So I'm going to invite you to like pull your navel in, tuck your tail down, pull your ribs down. Cool. Now it's flat, right? Because his core is engaged, if I pick up one of his legs and go ahead and let your knees and hips be a little softer, cool. I'm going to bring his leg across, invite his knee to bend a little bit, pull your belly in like you did before, and notice I can get his arm to move all the way over there. Right? So because the core tension, when I just bring him here, now again, eventually it's going to go to an internal rotation, but as I draw it across his body, I'm going to externally rotate. It's a wind up, and then eventually, go ahead and give me a little more core tension when like a flop, like a fish. So if I come here now, again, eventually, this thing, now this is interesting. He's unintentionally helping me a little bit to lift his leg. So you're glute engaged. I'd like you to really just pull your belly in, let your leg be soft. Great. Now again, look, you see where I'm positioning myself so that when I pull, I'm pulling into my center, pulling with my feet. And look, it's moving his head, it's moving his hand. And if you even relax your eyes and your jaw a little bit more while you pull your belly tighter in, flop. Yeah. Now, if you try to do this while they don't have any core tension, will you just be a total dead fish? When I do this, do you see how different it is? Like, it is still moving him, but like, do you see how he kind of kathunked a little bit there? If you don't pull your navel in, wrap your ribs down to what they call hollow body in gymnastics and acrobatics, tuck your tail, just gentle engagement of the glutes, but not too much. Now, what I'm trying to do is get his leg into full extension behind his body. Now, I know that you have more extension than that. There it is, right? So something in his body was holding. Just by like being like, hey, can you? He's like, yeah, he totally can. Now I'm going to keep it close to the ground. I'm counter spiraling it first. And as I pull, then I spiral in the direction I want his body to go, and he goes. This Thai massage. You like a Thai massage? I like a Thai massage. Okay. So this exercise is really nice to have somebody else manipulate you through it. And you can play with core tension or less core tension. And by the way, you might not know what that means. It's okay. Like, just play with different squeezing of your belly area in ways that you normally don't, which legitimately might include like really lifting and tucking and rippling. All of these practices in yoga are called sometimes pranayama or kriya. It's really a cleansing practice. Many of the things I share with you are strongly influenced by hatha yoga. And Uddiyana Bandha is the word they use for the belly lock. And this is what will make it possible for you to transfer the power from the upper body to the lower body. So how about you guys also, you at home also, and if you're by yourself, just keep exploring these same movement patterns by yourself. Imagining like somebody's lifting, drawing your leg across. And by the way, if you start from a starfish, it really is much harder to get him across the center line. But if I really start from a pencil and I invite his arms also overhead, or even potentially bend your elbows more, bend them even more, and can you rotate a little and try, yeah, cool. And now rest again. Cool, so right now, if I just look at his upper arms, the line with his leg is pretty straight. So I can see he's got his left arm on top, so it's gonna be easier for him to flop that way. And so when I first pick up his legs, what I legit might do is tuck that one, the under one, across a little bit. And again, I'm gonna bend the knee, and I'm gonna externally rotate it while I draw it across the center line. And now pull your belly in. Yeah, without the belly, it actually feels like I might injure his knee, legitimately. Bending the knee is super important, just a little bit. Belly engage. When he does the belly, I feel it in the leg. Yeah. Thai massage. How's it going over there? Ooh, nice. Yeah, good flop. Yeah. So the principle is to be ready to do any movement, prepare for the movement by doing the opposite movement, whatever that happens to be. Before lifting my arm up like this, I can go, and it's much easier because this movement is harnessing potential energy from gravity, creating a spring that then releases into the upward movement. Yeah, physics. It's pretty cool. Physics is really cool. So, wherever I happen to start, the very first thing I'm going to do is harness some potential energy from gravity, right? Foot was up here, now it's there. The next step would be to carry the leg here. Now, you can use your glute muscle and your hamstring just to kick your leg behind a little bit. And this one does the opposite, flop. And then this leg, if it were to bend right now, it naturally comes to there, and then it can spiral and flop. So the idea is basically, wherever I am, if I'm going to the ground, I'm gonna fall first. I'm falling this way. While I catch myself, while I allow myself. And now that I'm here, all I need to do is get this out of the way. And all of that movement was generated from the falling. From here, can I fall? Yeah, I'm not flat on the ground. Watch. I'm falling. I'm reaching. I'm building tension, releasing the tension, catching it there. Here's a ton of tension. I can choose to release it in either direction. I could just draw it back, or I could get my arm out of the way and twist my upper body as far as it will go. As I squeeze my belly, I feel the tension building in my leg. And then the leg just goes. It gets here, it has enough inertia to gain some potential energy from gravity until the apex, And now it's falling again, and the tension across my groin carries the other leg. Now the tension is all in my hamstring. If I bend my leg and engage my core, it goes all the way back to the other side. This time, I'm gonna get out of the way and let it continue. And now I'm stuck in a symmetrical bilateral position, and I stopped my momentum, and this is a bad place to be. I would not suggest stopping in the middle. Get to the other side. Now I have a spring, and I'm like, oh, my shoulder is trapped. Well, watch, not anymore. So just by drawing the limbs in and pressing them into the ground, from wherever they happen to start, make space for your head and your neck. So if you ever feel like you're gonna injure your head or your neck, get your arms in here and push. Really. Yeah. You guys wanna switch partners and keep playing with this idea? Or actually, let's move on to self-practice, because you've maybe felt it once or twice in your body. So the whole idea now, can you slide back just a little? I'd like you to explore this practice without worrying about whether you're doing it right or wrong, but just keep the principles engaged of like core tension, core tension, core tension, more core tension, less core tension, bending the lever to create the potential for movement, lengthening it while spiraling it to create that ripple through the body. So I can start from here on my back, and I can let this potential energy from gravity start here. And now I feel a stretch here, so I can let that part go. And now I can, okay, I'm gonna reverse and go back because I was reaching the edge of the stage. Oh, my arms can stay behind while my legs go as far as they can. Right now, I don't have core tension. Notice the difference. If I engage my belly first, the core tension is what allows the smooth transfer of power from one part to the other. Without the core engaged, it will not work. Engage your belly. Kind of all the time. It's really wise to practice every morning, breathing and strengthening. Later we'll do some of that also. So I'm just gonna kind of watch you practice a little bit. You at home imagine that I'm watching too. And it's also a moment where if any of you want to speak about what you're experiencing right now, perfect moment for it. Cool. So let them fall all the way. Pull your belly in, and then let this leg travel while this one reverses. Nice. Beautiful. Nice. Use that. Yeah, beautiful. Hold on. Come back. Reverse. Now, reverse again. Yeah. This time, keep your foot close to the ground. Bend your knee. Bend it more. Bend it more. Bend it more. Feel how it can pass through. Hold on. Go back. Reverse. Feel how just your leg, yes. That. Yes. That's where the momentum would naturally transfer if you don't block it. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, even more from here. Yeah. Pause and reverse, reverse. Cool. As you reach here, counter spiral, arms both over your head, more core tension, core tension. See if you can engage the external rotation and then the internal rotation. Yeah. A little bit earlier switching the rotation. So as you come through here, eventually it's going to go in. So start with out, and you can also prime this leg in opposition, and then wait for it. Your upper body will go after the leg. Yes. Yes, beautiful. So basically, either upper half or lower half is the active part. The other part is the tail of the movement. It really should be almost at rest, but ready to rearrange itself. So I'm here, I'm gonna begin with an upper body thing. Now, lower body thing. Reverse.
What I see is that there is a basic tension.
All the time.
All the time.
Never lose the basic tension.
things work even if I do, but then it's
Right.
floppy.
Right. So watch here. Both in the same direction. If I do it simultaneously, I don't build any tension. If I take this one first, I build tension. If I take this one first, I build tension. If I externally rotate from here, I feel it pull this leg. If I engage my core, you see how much more connected. The movements affect each other more when you increase core tension. So if you reach a moment where you're really at the edge of your flexibility and you need a little bit more room, you can decrease the core tension. It will increase your flexibility. But a lot of the time, I don't want to be more flexible. I actually want to be more integrated. Yeah. I want to be able to better harness all this potential energy from gravity I'm about to get when I allow that I fall from my rib cage first and my head counterbalances. And then my hand, watch, when I start, the first thing that happens is the hand counterbalances. And then eventually, it can so quickly move because it was building tension here, right? So this is different. Well, here's another way to do it. I'm falling this way, so I counterbalance. This one touches, and now I'm waiting for the moment when this hand has the most, and I carried that all the way through to the push. It wasn't through exertion, it was through allowing and getting out of the way. You guys want to keep moving and practicing? Or?
Yeah, so I'm noticing that that this is like, this feels quite complex to me. Like,
Oh yeah, it
wow.
is.
It's like, you're explaining it like it's, you're explaining it very well.
Thank you.
It's very...
Well, and I think you understand it intellectually, but in your body you don't yet have a somatic, embodied experience of understanding. I can tell you that you need to frequently take your leg behind into this backspace with internal rotation. You might understand that, but you also might not have the flexibility in your hip to do it. Or you might be wearing pants that restrict that movement. None of you are, but you might. So it's really, really super helpful if you are practicing with other people that you practice close enough together that, like, as you're doing your practice now, I will literally observe what's happening, and I'll just occasionally be like, more core tension. Right, now pause. Can you get this one back further and rotate it? Yeah, pause. Can you relax this arm over your head? And this one too. Cool. Now prepare by reaching with external rotation. Reach, and then wait. Relax your upper body, right? His upper body wants so badly to do something, but really if you just keep your arms like this, yeah, and really tilt your head a little bit towards the ground, better, right? The only activation I'm asking for right now is this leg to externally rotate, so your foot's gonna stay on the ground, but your knees, as you reach further. Wait for it, not your head. Just pull your belly in now while you internally rotate your leg. Belly and leg. All right. And feel it continues, right? Nice. And feel now this wants to continue, doesn't it? Hold on, put it down. Just rotate it and keep your foot on the ground. Just rotate it. Yeah. Oh, right, go back. Now this time, don't move your upper body, just rotate this leg and send it across. Great. If he doesn't bring his upper body, there's the potential for a twist. You will move in and out of twisted structures constantly in dynamic movement. That's what makes it dynamic movement, literally. So you twist, right? Now it's a pretty big twist. What happens if now you let through your belly muscles, just squeeze your stomach really hard and relax your face and eyes and don't look at anything. Squeeze your belly really hard, all right? Here it goes. Now your upper body's going. Can you even go further with your upper body? Yeah, now I'm gonna keep your legs here. Can you go further with your upper body? Can you twist? Yeah, cool. What if you sweep this arm over your head? Yeah, can you twist this way? Great. Now, it's really difficult to twist the upper body when the legs are in symmetrical bilateral position. So pick one side or the other. Get both anti-clockwise or both clockwise. Right? Okay. Right? So it's going to be this way, right? Because we're trying to twist you. Great. Now, can you put your feet on the ground? Great. Can you get one of your legs behind the other? On the ground. Yeah, on the ground. Nice. On the ground, on the ground. Use your stomach now. Yeah. Squeeze your belly. Cool. Tuck your tail. Nice. Bend your knee. Now, notice when you bend it, you can reach it behind a lot further. You want to try? Nice. Keep it on the ground. Right. Bend it. Bend it. Keep it on the ground. Bend it more. Bend it more. Yeah. Oh, you can for sure bend your knee though, right? Oh, yeah. Now notice you have more space suddenly, right? Yeah, cool. So now do that exploration and eventually it will move the rest of your body by externally rotating. On the ground. You can do it. Yes, externally rotate. Yeah. Oh, put it on the ground. Put it on the ground. Let it go all the way. Let it open. Let it open. Yes. Yeah. Cool. Now your upper body wants so badly to come with, but I'd like your right leg to come with instead. Can you, pull it across? Nice. Cool. So this is what I call heavy-handed coaching, right? I'm literally manipulating his body through it. I'm restricting him so he doesn't move where he's not supposed to. And this compression that I have here, it is body work for my forearm and for his rib cage, and my contact with my elbow here is also really helpful for his ability to move his leg in the way that we're talking about. Right, so hold on. Can you just move this leg behind you like a horse? Just this one, as far behind as it goes. Nice, cool. Eventually, it's gonna rotate. It's gonna pull the other leg. Oh, that was beautiful.
Wow.
How does it feel?
Amazing.
Cool, right? So now I've got you here, right? But your upper body can twist open this way. Keep your hand really close to your head. Keep your elbow bent. And cross the center line of your body. Great. Just play with rotation. Yeah. When you get as far as you think you can, this arm can make space. You're going to twist. Go ahead, twist. Nice. Nice twist. And reverse that. And now do it with your hand on the ground the whole time with your elbow bent. Yeah? Okay. Keep going. Nice. Nice. Beautiful. That's great. Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. In fact, feel free to put the camera down anytime. If the two of you want to practice, please do. Yeah. So what we're doing right now, we've shifted into a partner practice that is literally what I wanted to do next, which is we're sharing weight. He's on top of me, and he's doing the spiraling practice. So now, as you sweep this arm, you let yourself go. Look, I get my hand to the ground, my forearm. I'm finding a way to get my shoulder to the ground. I'm twisting. Now pause for a second. My arm is trapped under your body. Reverse, I get it out of the way. And now we can do something else. Now I'm gonna do a little pivot here and invite you back on top of me. Great. And so we're kind of gonna constantly shift who's on top. And because I'm a bit more experienced with the myofascial release stuff, when I get him on my lap and I have access to his shoulder blade, I'm for sure gonna dig around in there a little bit. And I'm playing with the fascia to see where it moves and where it doesn't. Here, up here, in his traps, it's pretty hard and cold compared to here on the blade of his scapula. And here, kind of behind his scapula, it's kind of spongy and etheric. There's like a hole here, which is a muscle that when you develop it, it will integrate your scapula into your body to here. And that will then allow, with external rotation and your head tilting up towards me a little bit, tilt, tilt, this arm position. Can you also take a bite? Yeah, there you go. Cool. Now, this area is quite soft. Cool. And you can also come through. Nice. And then sweep. Get it on the ground. Get it on the ground. Yeah. Sweep. Hold on. Keep it on the ground. Really, don't allow. Yeah, you might have to bend it more. You also might have to do something like this, right?
Holy shit.
Right? Isn't that interesting? And now that you're here, can you straighten it out again? Kind of keep it on the ground? Interesting, right? And then draw it back in, still on the ground. Great. And then all the way across to the other side of your face. Great, wrap the back of your hand around there. Awesome. It's only possible for me to really release this part of his body while he's exploring movement. So my goal now is to follow his movement and kind of let him massage himself like a cat. I've got a hook now. Actually, this is a perfect moment for like a close-up of what's happening right here. You could even bring, you can just literally take him off the thing by screwing the thing, right? He's detachable. No. It's the, never mind. Yeah, well, there's, you probably, Simon, I bet you know how to unscrew the screw.
Yeah.
No, because now you disconnected the mic. But it's okay. Hold on. So the other thing you can do is just shorten the tripod thing, and you can just carry it and put it on the ground there. Yeah. So what I actually would really love is I want you to literally be like standing right there. You can shorten the thing quite a lot. And you're gonna be with us right now as you aim it at what my hand is doing right here. Perfect, yeah, exactly. And remember, you can always use the little knob, right? So, I'm making a,
Ow, sorry.
yeah. It's super cool that you guys keep practicing, but it's also like, it'd be wise if you just roll away from her, yeah. So, I'm just gonna do a little clap here. I think we probably edited some things out. Now I'm here with my hook. This shape, you can see, it's an extension of the bone into the wrist, into the fingers, kind of like a scorpion tail. I'm not doing like this. This is too sharp of a curve. If I have any curve at all, it might be here. And as Simone moves, can you again initiate, oh, here's the most important part. Before you move any of your limbs ever, let the first movement be a pulling in of your stomach. And you'll notice that it's almost like the hydraulic system of your arms turns on. Like if you pull the belly in, there's like a, right, nice, beautiful, sweep that, right, nice. And then reverse. And this time, you don't need to lift your head off the ground neither. So as he moves through that range of motion, I'm hooking right around his trap and I'm feeling where the boundary should be. And I'm just giving him something to work with. And now he's pulling me this way. Look, I put my forearm on the ground. I put my shoulder on the ground. My core is engaged. Now I have my left foot on the ground. My right foot is still up here. I'm spiraled up. My upper body's twisting to the right. My lower body's twisting to the left. I still have contact to this place where you don't need to know the name of the muscle. You don't even really need to know what it does. If you can feel that one of the muscles is just like, imagine you have clay, and when it's wet and fresh, it's quite malleable and soft. At various stages of dryness, it starts to get harder. And that's kind of what I'm sensing here. So you, if you want this part to get massaged, all you would do is rotate, right? But it's not the arm. At this point, it's from your core. Yeah, nice. Cool, and then come back. Cool, now I'm gonna invite, I twist, and I'm inviting him to twist and put your bum on the ground and sit up. All right, sit up, and now lie down again. And as he lies down, I can follow. I'm making sure that my core is engaged. I'm waiting to see where we can go together, where we don't crash into them. And so what I'm gonna do is wait. So here's a perfect moment where you will initiate the rolling, and I'm gonna wait until you've really pulled me, and then I'm gonna follow. So go slow, roll that way. So he's pulling me. I'm waiting, and now I let the leg go, and the arms are just, ta-da. Now I'm waiting for you to roll the other way now. As you do, my toes help. Now I'm hooking. I'm getting out of your way. I'm twisting my upper body to the right while my legs are still to the left. Now I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the last possible minute to then take this through. This one is still counterbalancing. As we move, I'm again gonna use potential energy from gravity to bring that leg through, and then I'm gonna invite you to pause and reverse and keep your feet on the ground and keep your tailbone tucked. And you'll notice that with your feet on the ground and your tail tucked, that your hip bones won't grind into me in the same way. Nice, right? And then reverse. Now I'm gonna invite first that your arms do a spirally thing. So go ahead, great, okay. Awesome, now your bum is eventually gonna touch the ground. And when you sit, get your bum on the ground. That helps you to sit up, right? Pause here. I have my arm underneath your body. We can use it, but I want you to shape yourself as you go to try and accentuate the contact I have with my elbow here. It's gonna be a curvature to your right side. Try to use your abs to do, Simon, to really do a side bend. Yes, and now keep that side bend as you roll towards the ground this way. Yeah, this leg now, this leg, yeah. Prepare it to spiral, prepare it, and then, yeah, and then spiral it. Oh, hold on. Do less with your upper body. Just your core and your leg while your hands are over your head. Oh, nope, not your arm. Just your core and your leg. Now your knee is gonna move, yeah, right? Nice, let it rotate and adduct towards the ground. You have a range of motion up here, Simon. Pause.
Which way?
Yeah. Yeah. So you have in your head an idea that your leg doesn't do a certain movement. So we're gonna teach your leg that it does do a certain movement. I'll show. Can you slide over a little bit? So when you're here on your side, you frequently end up in this symmetrical bilateral position with your legs. And what I'm trying to invite is either this, which would initiate a roll this way, or this, which basically you get here and you stop. And you could come to here. You also come to here and you stop. But if you really increase the core tension here, your leg will go all the way to here. I feel a huge tension here, so when it gets that far, I'm gonna just bend this leg, and it goes. It goes through the sucking in of the belly, which shortens the whole lever. So we're here with no core tension. I'll do it with no core tension. That's it, right? Maybe that. But with core tension, starting from here, notice how they naturally, they move through the center, but they're never in that bilateral symmetrical position ever. It starts from here, the core is engaged. Because the core is engaged, actually, this position doesn't make any fucking sense. So they're gonna come through, they pass each other. This one has more range of movement because of the opening of this one, and then the external rotation across the groin, across the opposite groin. And there's so much tension here that I can choose to whip the leg right away, or I can bring the upper body and then really bring the leg, because every other part of the body is gone, and just the leg is like the tail that lingers, and the slingshot that is like, pew. You can't wind up the slingshot unless your core is really tight. Yeah. It is gonna challenge your flexibility, and it is gonna reveal to you where you're asymmetrical, and all of these are opportunities. If you're doing the practice and you're like, okay, I get to here, and I feel a pinching in my groin, so you'd be like, oh, okay, well then I'm gonna take my hand and I'm gonna put it on that spot, and I'm gonna imagine like I'm plucking the strings of a guitar, because all the musculature in your body really does mimic strings, kind of, and I'm gonna play with that range of motion, external, internal, preparing internal, 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 external, oh boy. Whew. I needed that. You probably need something like that too. So, dynamic release, using your hands and your fingers as tools for your own body to really find any place that you can play and strum and little vibrato and wiggle and like the puppy trying to get under the blanket, while you're also exploring the movement practice. Dynamic release only works if you're doing dynamic movement while you're doing the release. I mean the fascia practice. Okay, actually, dynamically releasing your mental patterns also is much easier when you're doing dynamic movement. Yeah, it's all related. So I think this was a pretty good download here. Now, if you've just been watching this, but you haven't been doing what they're doing and rolling around on the floor the whole time, again, pause the video, rewind a couple of minutes, and do it. Play with finding where you can build tension and then release tension. Notice that your arms are in the way all the time, and then you have to start finding ways to get them out of the way so that you can pass through. Even here is another really great pass through that requires that you do a big side bend to make some space. And so if I'm here and I'm trying to get my left arm through, there's plenty of space to do it. There's a big hole right here, but only because I'm tilting my entire spine laterally. And what that does also is it presses the hip and the shoulder into the ground. They both take more weight for that moment where the arm can then pass through. And now these move in opposition, so it doesn't actually move your center of gravity at all. You're just changing shape, and I've got this one here. It's ready. This is my load and explode position for my hand to throw a punch. But it also, if I just keep it tight to my body and reach it up and across, my left side just naturally unfolded, and now it has all the momentum. When I reach the end of the pendulum, it can take it back around into the other direction. Here, I have I'm moving. I have kinetic energy. I have momentum. And if I then stop that momentum and start to spiral instead, the spiral catches the energy until I'm so spiraled up that if I just pull my belly in, that my legs kind of do that. But that didn't work because I was modeling without core tension. And I still, all the time, I forget, frequently. So let's do that again. I'm here. I get to here, I'm waiting to send this one. Belly, core, very different shape. Now I'm touching my own pelvis with my elbow. And from there, when I get to here, the legs are really ready to explode, only because the core tension. So I'm actually really happy that I'm still messing it up frequently enough that you get to see me do it the wrong way on accident, and then I'll pretend like I did it on purpose. So if you ever notice you're in a shape and it doesn't seem to be working, instead of just increasing the core tension at that moment, you might want to reverse out a little bit, engage the core tension, and then move into the pattern again. And you'll notice that it's a very different pathway. Okay. I'm just going to take a few breaths, and then I think we'll probably take lunch. Unless you want to do more of this, we could easily do 10, 15, 20 more minutes of specific technical instruction related to floor stuff, but we can also do it later. And I'm going to do some of this tonight also. Are you guys feeling lunchy?
I'm good for lunch.
Okay.
And there's something super specific I want to say.
Yeah.
That what I noticed is that you have so much creativity and vocabulary around this dynamic way of helping each other. And I imagine that builds up with practice.
Totally.
Because I practiced other stuff for a long time, but I still don't have this kind of vocabulary. When we roll together, I can see the spiral, I can see the block, or I can see,
Right.
and this comes with experience, I imagine.
Cool. So am I understanding that the way that I'm putting words to the concepts is helping you to see the concepts with more clarity? Or are you more commenting on how it's uncomfortable a little bit because the words you're not super familiar with yet? They're like...
It's not the vocabulary in words.
Yeah.
It's the ability to notice the potential in your
Right.
partner's body. So I notice that I don't have that vocabulary of noticing yet.
okay.
Like,
Got it.
because you were rolling with Simon and you noticed, oh yeah, more core tension. Or like, you can bring your legs here. Or
Right,
like,
right.
And I imagine also for people at home who don't do this very often, they also don't see it.
Totally. Which is why, like, mirroring is the way to learn this. So you can go back and watch the footage with Simone. I can guarantee you that your partner is also not exploring that leg in full extension with internal rotation, and then really through a opening and spiraling, pulling the other leg about. This is super duper rare. It's the sort of thing that when I see another person doing it or feel them doing it, I'm like, oh, yes! We can do the thing together, because it really is possible to do something together when both people maintain their core tension and they both know how to tune that core tension using their legs like tuning pegs. Legs and arms. A good instrument has tuning pegs at the top and bottom. I would think of the legs as the primary ones, the big ones, and the arms and head as the tiny ones at the bottom of the instrument. And it is actually very helpful to think of this as the bottom, because you've been told your whole life that this is the top, and a lot of the stuff we're doing, it's not. It's really helpful if you can start to think of your upper body as being the part that's on the bottom. Yeah. Okay, so let's take a lunch break. It'll be quite a longer break, this one. Those of you who are doing this at home, I suggest you also take a longer break and make sure you eat some food. Meow. 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 Meow.